come to within myself, and I'm wondering, why is it that we wouldn't want to change? Because I have something that I can and I will, but I can have something that I can do that will benefit me and what I perceive to be great ways, right? And it's like, and I've had it previously or prior to this moment, but like I haven't fully executed or fully committed to that path. And I believe part of that is because of a subconscious recognition of this will change me. But it's like, I'm not even worried about the fact of it changing me, because I enjoy evolving and changing and growing. It's a matter of, well, I guess I could put it in a matter of speaking, where it's not that it will change me, it's that I will have to change. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, I can no longer do or be the same way I was, or do the things the same way I did. And I'm wondering, like, where does that trepidation come from? Because I don't, or I do want to, I do desire to have that change, right? I do desire to live that changed life, but it's like the idea of no longer being able to do life as I do it, you know, I believe that's part of what could be subconsciously holding me back from committing to that change. Maybe it's an idea of just being so comfortable with the way that things had, the way that I've become accustomed to, so comfortable with the way that I've become accustomed to things being. Like, oh, okay, so maybe it's just a matter of stepping into that unknown again. And, people tend to fear what's unknown, but it's interesting because on a conscious level, like when it's happening physically, I can think about it and then like convince myself that I'm not that I'm unafraid of the unknown. Like, and it, a lot of the times the unknown doesn't affect me the way it used to the point where now I can believe I'm not even afraid of the unknown. But it's this mental unknown within myself. So it's like outside of me, I've already come to a understanding with the idea of stepping into the unknown. But now it's this new thing for me internally, the unknown, right? And it could just be an old habit of anxiety. Like, so I heard like depression is you attaching yourself to the past, and anxiety is you attaching yourself to the future, right? And it could be an idea of, because it's this future thing, this future unknown that's taking place, that could be causing that trepidation. And from my experience, I've learned that the anxiety or the fear of the future comes from a lack of belief in yourself being equipped to handle that thing. So as I say that now, I can try to apply that to my situation where of being like hesitant to go into this unknown change, or this change of my lifestyle type of thing. Perhaps subconsciously it's a belief that I'm not equipped to handle that lifestyle. But I think as I say that, it feels more right to say I'm not equipped to handle losing the old lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's a subconscious fear that I'm gonna be bored or a subconscious fear that I'm gonna like suffer in some way because of no longer doing things the way I did before. That's so, it's stupid. Like, I don't like it. It seems small, but I can see where maybe it's that inner child type of thing. And maybe it's a hidden thing where I didn't even realize it, because it seems so immature to be worried about being bored, to be worried about, it's actually so ignorant. Like, it's so, I'm lacking so much insight and I'm glad I can say it consciously now because I can think about it. But to even feel like that, it just feels like you lacking so much understanding, because I don't know. So as I was like rewatching the last part, a few things like stuck out to me, but one part that was like the catalyst for my further self-reflection and self-research was the part where I was saying about being accustomed to being too comfortable and like accustomed to like the way I already was, you know? And so I think in there too I said the word attachment, and that like made me remember that I had did a video a while ago on my YouTube channel about attachment. I thought the title was attachment, but the title was actually detachment, funny enough. So I went to that one, and I do encourage you to check it out if you feel the inclination. But in that, one of the things that was talked about was the idea of it's a collection of thoughts that you're attached to, right? Like it's a perspective that you're attached to with any idea. So that led me to again go back into the self-reflection and look at what idea is it that I'm attached to? What is the collection of thoughts that would make me think being bored, as I called it, was so bad? And so as I was like reflecting and thinking on that, it was a matter of self-revelation, personal revelation, where I realized it wasn't that I was worried about being bored. It was that I had become accustomed to the perspective that being comfortable would bring me pleasure. And like, and it makes sense too why in the other video I had that feeling of it's so ignorant, like I'm lacking knowledge to even feel like that, to even feel like being bored was a problem. And it was really because it was the half-baked or unfinished idea that being comfortable was the way to bring me pleasure. It was a half-truth because the perspective made it seem subconsciously to me, I'm assuming that being comfortable was like the only way to have pleasure, and that simply was lacking another part of it. It was lacking information. And so at first the perspective that I built was, or that I tried to establish, was being uncomfortable brings me pleasure, right? I just tried to do the opposite of it. I just aimed to do the opposite of that other perspective that I wanted to get rid of, and that was working, but it still felt like there was more to it. And so I'm like, being uncomfortable can bring me pleasure. And yeah, that's true. And then it was a matter of being comfortable can bring me displeasure. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's true too. But they both true. Being comfortable can bring me pleasure, and being comfortable can bring me displeasure. And then that's when I realized, oh, it's the same for being uncomfortable as well. So then it became a matter of, they both do both. So then the new perspective that felt finished was the idea or the perspective that anything I choose can bring me pleasure, and anything that I choose can bring me pain. And the difference or the deciding factor is a matter of what value do I perceive in the thing, right? Like, where's the perceived value at? If I perceive value in something making me comfortable, then I can find pleasure in that. If I perceive value in something making me uncomfortable, then I can find pleasure in that. So it was a matter of the old perspective being replaced with anything can bring me pleasure, as opposed to it being comfortable can bring me pleasure. There's something added to that I needed, and that I found through that self-revelation, self-reflection stuff. So, man, so I encourage you to try to do the same for yourself, because it's been very beneficial for me, and I'm gonna just go with it and see how it goes.